Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay. We are spending the day interviewing a bunch of SDVOE partners, and one of the biggest partners has to be a networking company called NETGEAR. John Hinkle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Gary. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, no, thank you as well. John, in case you don't know, is the director of product marketing, and you've done a phenomenal job, not just educating people on the value of AV over IP, but also sort of plugging a lot of holes because our industry is going towards the network, thanks to organizations like SDVOE and the Alliance. We're putting a lot of content on the network. You know, we've been putting audio on the network. Now we're able to put pretty much every flavor of video on the network. And NETGEAR embraced our industry, and I think the history there is obvious. And I'm guessing you're going to go to InfoComm with a bunch of new switches.
Absolutely. Good guess. We wouldn't miss InfoComm. In fact, we're going to be a bigger presence this year than we have been in the past. We're doubling our booth size.
Okay, good.
Bigger booth, more space, demos.
That just shows more commitment to Pro AV and not just the IT space. That's good. So tell me about the new. Is it going to be part of the 4250 series, or going to be different?
It's a different series. So I'll go back a little bit of history. The 4300s had been out since I think it was 2016, and that's where Laurent Massieu first started seeing the growth in AV over IP. So we came out with a 4250 that look a little bit different, ports in the back, things like that. This is the 4350 series coming up now.
Okay.
We haven't talked about it yet. So this is coming out. We'll show you some of the models at InfoComm. All the product pages, everything will be ready by the show. But it's a dozen models. It's 12 models at once. In two phases, I shouldn't say at once, two phases. So phase one, I think, is 7 models, but they go from 1G, 2.5G, 10, 40.
Okay, that's interesting. Conceptually, that's an interesting way of doing it. And so therefore, you're kind of accommodating every flavor of AV over IP rather than just a one size fits all approach. That's interesting.
These are good for edge switches. They're good for the core switch. You know, they'll be useful in IT situations as well, because 100 gigs is
and I could see this, and I could see this all around the classroom to help for signal routing and distribution inside the classroom or inside of a conference room, underneath a table, credenza, that kind of stuff as well, without needing a rack.
Yep. And so we have some of these that are full rack. We have 2 models that are half rack. And if you want to put them together, Laurent devised, and our engineering team devised a great way of slotting those together, so you can put them in a rack if you want to. But yeah, so they'll complement the 4250s that are really targeting 1 gig apps applications.
So I have a question for you. Has NETGEAR, have you thought about releasing any data with regard to you're providing a free support service of designing systems? Something we should mention is that you design AV systems or AV over IP systems for free, regardless of the brand, regardless of what you're using, to help sort of get integrators comfortable with doing AV over IP. Do you have any data that you're willing to share with us with regard to, you know, what people are using and sort of, you know, what percentage is 1 gig versus 10 gig or any of that kind of stuff?
That's a really good point. I will say, of course, we want you to use NETGEAR switches for that service. So it's our guys. But if you're using a combination of things, we'll certainly help you out. We haven't done that kind of data. So that team of Pro AV design engineers, it's Pro AV design at netgear.com. We've expanded them. We've like doubled the team in the last couple of years, I'd say. So that shows you one data point, but we haven't correlated that data. That's a really good point. And our goal is to actually make you be self-sufficient. So for your second, third, and fourth jobs, you may not need to call us.
No, but I'm still curious because I think your data would be valuable. I know that Laurent's going to do a session at InfoComm. And by the way, I'm a big believer in education at trade shows because I think it really pays to spend a little bit of time off the show floor networking, but also getting that education. So talk to me about that session and what else we can expect from NETGEAR at InfoComm 2023 next week.
Yeah, Laurent's going to give a session. It's sold out, but what we're saying is show up anyway, because people may not show up for it, but it got sold out weeks ago, which is great. How to design an AV over IP network, certainly using NETGEAR, but in general, it's good concepts for multicasting, what IGMP is, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a seasoned professional, you'll learn something, and you can always ask questions. If you're new to it as well, you'll learn something. So it's good for everybody. That's going to be on Wednesday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I think.
Okay. And so show up in case somebody doesn't show up, which happens. I'd say the show up rate's about 50-60%. But for a session like this, it's probably going to be a little bit higher, but still show up anyway. What else are you going to be doing on the show floor we can expect?
Well, so if you can't make it to the class or it's sold out or whatever, come to our booth, because Laurent will be there. Our design engineers will be there. He's going to do probably, hopefully on every hour, close to that, a little session on designing your network as well. And we'll show you the Engage controller, that software for the AV user interface to assign profiles to ports, which makes it just a breeze. We'll have a couple of demo stations for that. You can get your own demo. And then again, the hourly thing from Laurent on that.
And that's booth 3723. And I guess the most important question is, are you riding your bike there with Laurent?
No, Orlando's just a little bit farther away from me. So Vegas was easier. Barcelona was fun, and we rode around afterwards.
Yeah. How was that, by the way?
It was great. It's just such a great way to go to decompress before the show and after the show. Talking about Vegas, especially.
Yeah.
So it's just an easy way to kind of go through all that stress of a trade show. It's great.
All right. Well, did I miss anything else that's going on over there? I know you're going to be participating in the SDVOE booth. We should mention that as well. Yep, everything that's connected inside that booth will be connected thanks to NETGEAR. We'll be driving, by the way. We're going to provide internet access to our team thanks to NETGEAR's new MiFi products. I can't remember what those are called, but they're basically 5G wireless Wi-Fi access points that use data.
Yeah, our mobile hotspots. So we have a couple of versions of those. They're really, I use one at home, and I need to for power outages. It's great.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We're excited about it.
We are going to be at the esports demo too that Avixa and AVI Systems is putting on, thanks to Brad Sousa. That'll be in booth 4033. They'll have some collegiate esports guys doing there, and I hear you guys are going to help out as well.
We are. In fact, by the way, that esports is a really interesting market because it's already been AV over IP for a while, but they've done some, because of the higher bandwidth of SDVOE, you can do a lot more than you can of the esports arena, in the sense that esports is 3 systems in one. You have one system that the gamers play, and you have one system that the audience sees that's delayed. And then you have the third system, which is driving the content to Twitch and YouTube and places like that. So you really have 3 different AV over IP systems in one. And with SDVOE, you can actually you can do all 3 basically with one platform.
It's the high bandwidth and the low latency. That's the other key part of that.
Yeah. The latency has to be, as a gamer, I'm not that level of gamer, but as a gamer, you would not want any latency from the controller to the monitor. So you can learn a lot about that by heading over to that esports arena. It'll be very popular at the show. And of course, definitely make plans to stop by booth 3723. And if you haven't tried out NETGEAR, try them out. NETGEAR.com/ProAV. Is that right? Or ProAV.com/
NETGEAR.com/AV is easy.
Okay. NETGEAR.com/AV makes it easier because it's actually now NETGEAR AV, actually, I should say that team is. So thanks, John. I really appreciate you joining me on this special edition of my video cast, specifically in and around SDVO and what's happening at the show during InfoComm 2023.